Hello my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about the first book in the Heir of Novaron bind-up by Michael J. Sullivan, and it is called Wintertide, and this is the fifth book in the Rhaenyra Revelation series. And oh my god, that felt like such a mouthful to say. So, before I get too far into this review, I will say it gave me a serious case of the feels. Like, serious feels. I swear I am loving the series more and more with each book that I read in it. Looking back, I did not expect myself to like it this much when I started, but I have found myself getting really into the story, really attached to the characters, and it's just worth the time to put into reading it because it is amazing. So, because this is the fifth book in a series, I can't really say much without spoilers. So with that said, I'm going to go into a more spoilery bit. So if you have not read this far yet, I suggest you click away now and come back after catching up. So, I kind of made the little itty bitty mistake of reading the end of this story while I was at work. For those who don't know, I tend to bring books to work with me, just because you never know when you can get some reading in. So I usually bring books to work with me to read on break, and if I get there early. So I was doing the overnight shift, and I was reading while I was on break. I had a half-hour break, so I was super happy because more reading time. And that's when I was getting to the end of the book, and all the feels, all the damn feels. Like, I'm glad that no one was with me in the little break area while I was reading, because they would probably think I was insane. Just the faces I was making, and the pain sounds, and it was just, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. I should have known something was going to happen like that, because just based on all the crap that was going on, things were going too good. You know, our heroes were winning, and things were going good for them. Something had to happen. Nope. I was naive, and I was hoping nothing would happen, and it was horrible. So yeah, no more beating around the bush. Gwen's death just shattered my heart. Like, it was painful. But I'll get to that in a little bit. I want to try and go over my reactions and thoughts on some of the stuff that happened before. So I like how, quickly we pick things up again. Royce and Hadrian have returned from their little sea voyage, and things aren't looking quite so good. They find out Arista isn't in Radibor, and Radibor was retaken, and things aren't looking good in Bedford, where Alaric is. They've been pretty much taken by the Imperialists. So yeah, things aren't looking too good based on everything. Apparently Arista is going to be executed on Wintertide when Monina/Thrace is supposed to get married, and Deegan is supposed to get executed as well, and things are not looking good. Hadrian and Royce have to try and free everyone and just try and save everyone more or less. And can I just say, I want to hug Arista so bad in this book. She is being starved. She is not in a good state right now. She was not in a good state for most of this book. At all. And I just wanted to hug her so bad. Because I've really grown to love her since the first book, and it pained me to see her in this situation. Apparently Thrace, Monina, whatever you want to call her, is planning to kill herself instead of get married to the guy who's supposed to be ruling the Empire. Apparently she's supposed to marry a guy who's supposed to become the emperor, and then they're gonna kill her off. And she knows this, and she doesn't want that to happen, so she's rather take her life on Wintertide instead. And just the whole situation that Hadrian gets forced into, he has to pretend to be a knight, but he is basically being forced to compete in this tournament and accidentally kill Sir Brecton, because he is loyal to a fault to Archie. And Solder and co. aren't too thrilled about that, so they want to take him out. And if Hadrian does this, he gets to take Arista and Deegan and get away safely. Supposedly. And just him trying to pretend to be a knight and him him trying to learn, like, how to act and everything. I didn't realize how much I needed to read that until I did, because it was amusing beyond all belief. And I must say, I love how Mondina managed to, like, really pull herself together and just say, no more, I'm gonna be doing something, instead of sitting around wallowing. She kills the guy that she was gonna be marrying, and threatens to kill Solder. She decides to, really, like, use her title and power as Empress to her advantage, and just, it's fabulous and amazing, and I was cheering her on the entire time I was reading. So now, instead of being a figurehead, she's actually, like, the Empress. And with the help of Nimbus and Amelia, she is, trying to figure out the best way to, go about things now that she is actually in power. And just how she steps up made me so happy. And also, I wasn't sure what I was going to think of Sir Brecton. We haven't really seen too much of him. We've heard mentions of him several times throughout the series. We met his younger brother Wesley, or Wessel, or whatever it is, in the last book, and he was cool. I grew to really like him, and it really did sadden me when he died. But it was really interesting to see what to make of Sir Brecton, and I ended up liking him a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I thought him and Amelia were so goddamn adorable. Just the grin on my face whenever I read their interactions made me so happy. It was so cheesy, but I loved it, and it was fabulous. Things going pretty good until Merrick sends a message to Royce, and, apparently he kidnapped Gwen, and will happily give Gwen back to Royce if he gives him Solder and Thrace, Mondina. And, Royce being Royce, he's not gonna let anyone hurt his Gwen, does this, and I was just freaking out the entire time. And then when Gwen died, I could feel my heart breaking for Royce. That was horrible to read, and just, I wanted to give him such a big hug, and, seeing him go, like, full-on cold-blooded killer was painful, and it hurt so much. Like, I was near tears, guys. I was seconds away from tears as I was reading that, and it was horrible and painful and embarrassing, because like I said before, I was at work when I was reading this, and just how we ended it, I didn't know if it would have made my feelings worse if it kept going, or if we ended at a good spot. Because Royce, he kills Merrick, because he's pretty sure Merrick's the one who killed Gwen. Like, my first impression was, yes, he killed Gwen. But then, after thinking about it, Gwen was shot with a crossbow, and Merrick certainly did not have a crossbow on him. So that leaves the question, who the heck killed Gwen, really? But, Royce is in such a rage, he doesn't care. So he kills Merrick, and Hadrian manages to somewhat calm him down. He managed to at least get him to think and realize that he's not alone, or at least that's what I got out of it. And we end the book with, like, Hadrian helping Royce off, the ledge of this bridge that he shoved Merrick off of. So it's, I'm scared. I'm really, really, really scared to read the final book. And it's gonna be the final book in the Raya Revelations. So, I'm scared to read that, because I'm afraid to see, like, Royce and how he's holding up, and how Hadrian is gonna react to all this, and just how Royce is gonna be treated for, putting Thrace in danger. I'm imagining it's gonna be a really painful read for me. That, and there is something coming. Like, I believe, this started to be really implied in the last book, but something has ended, and something is coming, and it's got to really mess everything up. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to be, and how it's going to be resolved in one final book. If it's going to be resolved at all. And yeah. So yeah, those are my impressions and thoughts, and I pretty much loved everything about this book, except, Gwen's death. because feels. And yeah. I'm sorry this was kind of disjointed and really unorganized, but so much happened and it was a lot for me to take in, and I stupidly did not take notes. I should have, but I didn't. And I'm just still really overwhelmed from it all. And right now I just kind of want to jump into the last book because I want to see what happens. So yeah, that's it for this book review, and I hope to see you guys later. Keep on reading, my fellow book addicts. Keep on reading.